So a quick little update here. Got the rear axle in, got the rear tires on. Obviously I only have like 3 lug nuts in each one, just because this has just got to get rolled back and forth for the time being. I did put this neutral bar on there, with the neutral, I guess, lever or whatever you want to call it. I am missing the nut on that bolt there. So that bolt is on, or that nut, I'm sorry, that nut is on order. Obviously the bolt's in there. So, and if you remember in an earlier video, I think I showed it, but I found a nut for either one of these laying on my trailer when I got home. And how I noticed the transmission doing this is this bar was loose. I just picked it up and just removed it off the tractor. So probably happened somehow with the frame being cracked and everything. As you can see, I got the 2 bolts there, and I got 2 bolts on the other side. I got the PTO selector lever on. I did put some anti-seize on that connection point there. Should have to come off again. Hopefully I can just pound the roll pin out. And it was tight going on, but I think that was because some little bit of paint or whatever. And yeah, so tolerances are probably pretty tight on it to begin with. So, but anyway, there's anti-seize on that with a roll pin in there, so I can hopefully, like I said, just pound that roll pin out, slide that shaft off there, or that lever off there, and then I can, take the rear axle if I have to, or take the rear PTO off for whatever reason. So I got the oil cooler on. I don't have the lines connected 100%. Now I'm looking at it, there's a hose clamp there, and that hose clamp actually belongs over here on the transmission, so that's great. But that's fine. I think I have to reroute this hose. You can kind of see how it's laying there on that spring. And I kind of put it on here so it's not going to leak oil everywhere, because there's oil in that oil cooler yet. Not much. I drained as much of it out as I could. Trying to think what else right now. I got the blue pressure line is tightened down, that one there. I was greasing the front four-wheel drive axle, and one of the grease zerks is just missing. That's the front of the shaft right there. I just pulled that one was missing the grease zerk. So what I did is I just pulled it off the back one here and put it over there. I was able to grease it. Everything took grease, so that's good. The grease zerk is not snapped off or anything like that. It just fell out, to be my guess. That's my guess. Something happened with it because it's obviously not on the tractor. So I got a kind of like a running parts list going. So I put a grease zerk on there. I might be able to get one of those at like Home Depot or something. So I'm gonna go look there first before I probably pay close to like $5 for one on Deere's website. So let's see. I am gonna paint the axle yet today and try and get that put in. And I am going to put the charge pump PTO shaft on as well, so that is in. And then yeah, pretty much I'll be kind of like at a standstill really once the front axle's in, that PTO shaft's in. I guess I can put the rear hitch plate on. That'll take all of a couple minutes to do. So yeah, it's kind of things kind of go quick when you're putting things back together, especially if you're organized. I mean, I'm not saying I'm super organized. I mean, look at my freaking garage. It's a mess right now. Tractor parts everywhere. Just all my tractor parts over here. My garbage can, recycle can usually go here. Well, I didn't have room for the recycling or the garbage can, so I stuck it over there. Forget about it. I got my generator over there. You can kind of see it right there. That has to go in for service because it won't start. I've tried everything to get that thing going. It won't start. It's only got 10 hours on it. Brand new yet. So yeah, not really sure what is going on. But yeah, anyway, that's just kind of an update. I'll show you the rear axle, or the front axle, I'm sorry, now that that's out. So kind of there it is. There's not much to look at really. The bushing inside the front pivot point looks good. There doesn't appear to be any play on anything, which is awesome, because I'm assuming that nothing really got greased on this thing ever. If it did, I'd be shocked. But the front tie rod still moves, and that's good because that's like a $350 part. And the bolt for the front axle is right here. So, and that's actually in pretty good shape. There's no spots on it anywhere where I can catch my finger on it or anything like that. So, but this is how you see it, is how I pulled it out. There's very little grease in that housing where this bolt goes through, and then there's a bushing that goes over top of this. So there's very little grease in there. So that, like I said, that leads me to believe that it was probably never greased. So it is kind of a pain in the butt to get to that spot. I've actually considered doing it on this one. Is it kind of extending that zerk point out just a little bit, or kind of down, so I can easily hook a grease gun on it a little bit easier. But I don't know, we'll see once. So there's the old frame. So there's not much left of it. There's not much left that I need on it either. I don't know if I mentioned it in an earlier video or not, but there's let's see if I can grab it without dropping it. This little spring here, I was wondering what that was for. This is for your cruise control release. I was able to look that part up on JD Parts, and it hooks on the bottom of the of a bar down underneath the frame, and then this smaller upper part right here. My camera focus. There we go. This smaller part goes on the top, like where the rod connects to it. So that's just, like I said, this is just the release for it. So when you pull it, it expands. Then when you want to release your cruise, and it releases, obviously. So, yep. So that's about it, really, for the frame. That's kind of how you see it, is pretty much how I'm going to get rid of it. Not really sure if I want to take the brake pedal off it and try and recoup some money on it or not. I don't, kind of, who wants it too, you know what I mean? So hang on to it, and it's like, man, I should have just got rid of it. But I don't know, we'll see. I got get that front axle painted, like I said, and stick that in this afternoon once that paint dries. And this is going to be a rolling chassis, which would be nice. And like I said, hopefully next week when the parts come, I can just keep, you know, putting things on. So yeah, hoping. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.